You have been told your whole life to avoid fat to protect your heart. But what if I told you that the right kind of fats could be the most powerful protector for your brain, while the wrong kinds, even some that you think are healthy, are silently raising your stroke risk? Today we are going to end the confusion about fat. This is your complete guide to smart fat swaps. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter. And to help us navigate the very confusing world of healthy and unhealthy fats, we are joined by a physician who has spent his life teaching the wisdom of choosing our foods with great care. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. The body needs fat. Our brain is made of over 60% fat. It is an essential nutrient. The problem is not fat itself. The problem is the type of fat that we eat and the chemical damage that can happen to it inside our body.
That is the perfect place for us to start. Let's have a quick master class on cholesterol because it is so often misunderstood. When your doctor gives you a blood test, they are looking at how cholesterol is being transported in your blood. The LDL cholesterol is like the delivery truck that carries cholesterol and fats out to all of your cells. And the HDL cholesterol is like the garbage truck that brings any excess cholesterol back to the liver to be safely disposed of. But here's the most important secret that most people don't know, and it is the key to our entire conversation today. The LDL, or the bad cholesterol, is not inherently bad. It only becomes truly dangerous when it is damaged by a chemical process inside your body that is called oxidation. You can think of this process like rust. Oxidized LDL is like rusted metal floating through your bloodstream. It is this damaged, rusted LDL that is very sticky, very inflammatory, and is the primary cause of the dangerous plaque buildup in your arteries that can lead to a heart attack or a stroke.
So the goal is not just to lower the cholesterol, but to protect it from this damage.
Exactly. And that is what our guide is all about today. We are going to show you which fats create this dangerous rust and which fats help to protect and to clean it up. For each of the three most common and dangerous fats that are in the modern diet, Dr. Hinohara will explain the problem. I will add the simple science, and then he will immediately reveal a safe and a healing swap that you can make instead. It is a true blessing to have this kind of deep scientific knowledge to be able to make wise choices for our health. If you are ready to finally end the confusion about fats and learn how to choose the right ones to protect your precious brain, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and this guide is full of potentially life-saving information. Okay, doctor, let's get right into our smart fat swaps. Let's start with the most dangerous and the most unnatural category of fats that are found in our modern food supply. What is our first dangerous fat?
Our first dangerous fat is a man-made fat. It is not something that is found in nature. It is the trans fat, which is most often found in our food in the form of partially hydrogenated oils. You will find this in many processed baked goods like cookies and pastries, and in shortenings, and in most margarines. These fats are very, very damaging to the body. I had a patient, a lovely woman in her late 60s. She had a great love for packaged cookies and for the store-bought pastries that she would have with her morning coffee. She was eating them every single day. She came to see me because she was feeling very tired all the time, and she had a lot of general aches and pains in her body. Her blood tests showed that her levels of inflammation were very high, and her LDL, her bad cholesterol, was also dangerously elevated. The source of her inflammation was hiding in her favorite comfort foods.
That is such a common and a very important story. And the problem is, as you said, that these fats are not natural. Let's explain the science of this for our viewers. Trans fats are created in a factory through an industrial process that is called hydrogenation. This is where they take a liquid vegetable oil like soybean oil and they blast it with hydrogen gas to make it solid and spreadable at room temperature. This is how they make things like margarine and shortening. This chemical process creates a new and an unnatural type of fat that your body does not know how to handle. These trans fats are what we call a double whammy for your health. First, they dramatically increase the levels of that sticky, dangerous, oxidized LDL cholesterol in your blood. And second, at the same exact time, they actually lower your levels of the protective HDL, or good cholesterol. So they are increasing the bad and decreasing the good at the same time. This is a direct recipe for chronic inflammation and for dangerous plaque buildup in the arteries of your heart and of your brain.
So they are a true poison for our arteries. So, doctor, what is the healing swap? If a person wants a healthy fat to spread on their toast or to use for their cooking, what should they choose instead of these dangerous man-made fats?
The smart in the healing swap is to, of course, completely avoid these factory-made fats. Instead, you must embrace the stable, beautiful, and natural fats that are found in whole foods like extra virgin olive oil and avocados. This is the perfect stability swap. The primary type of fat that is found in olive oil and in avocados is a monounsaturated fat. Unlike the very fragile polyunsaturated fats that are found in many of the common vegetable oils, and that can be easily damaged by heat, and processing monounsaturated fats are very, very stable. They are resistant to oxidation, so they do not create that dangerous rust in your bloodstream. And they do the exact opposite of the trans fats in your body. They have been shown in hundreds of scientific studies to help lower your LDL cholesterol and to raise your protective HDL cholesterol. And on top of that, as we discussed in our video on the nightly olive oil ritual, they are absolutely packed with those powerful anti-inflammatory polyphenols that are so incredibly protective for your heart and for your brain. It is the wisest and the most delicious swap that you can possibly make. It is a beautiful example of how the simple and blessed fats that are provided by nature are always superior to the ones that are created in a factory. So our first smart swap, the stability swap, is a very clear one. We must trade the unstable and man-made trans fats for the stable and natural monounsaturated fats that are found in olive oil and avocados. That is a brilliant and a very clear piece of advice. Now, doctor, what is the second dangerous type of fat that seniors should be cautious about? I know this is one that is very common in a lot of traditional cooking.
Yes, our second problem is not about a man-made fat, but it is about an excess of a natural one. It is the problem of having a diet that is too high in saturated fats, especially from sources like red meat, butter, and lard. I had a patient, a gentleman who was very proud of his traditional old-fashioned way of cooking. He cooked almost everything in butter or in lard because he loved the rich flavor. But he came to see me because his doctor was very concerned about his extremely high LDL cholesterol levels. And he also told me that he was feeling very sluggish and very heavy after all of his meals. His traditional diet, which he believed was a very wholesome and natural way to eat, was actually putting a great deal of strain on his entire cardiovascular system.
And this is a very important and a very nuanced topic. We must be very clear with our viewers. Saturated fat in small amounts, especially when it comes from high-quality, whole food sources, is not a poison. But when it becomes the primary and the dominant fat in your diet, as it was for your patient, it can become a very serious problem for many people. The science on this is quite clear. A diet that is very, very high in saturated fats, especially from processed red meats and from high-fat dairy products like butter and cream, can drive up the production of that LDL, or bad cholesterol, in your liver. And as we now know from our masterclass in part 1, the more LDL you have circulating in your blood, the more opportunity there is for it to become damaged and oxidized, which is the rust that leads to the dangerous buildup of plaque in the arteries of your brain and your heart.
So the key here is to reduce the excess of these heavy fats. So, doctor, what is the healing swap in this case? If a person loves that rich flavor for their cooking, what is a smarter and a healthier choice for them to make?
The smart in the healing swap is to, of course, greatly reduce the amount of these heavy, long-chain, saturated fats like butter and lard. And for light cooking, you can swap them for a very special and a very unique type of saturated fat that the body uses in a completely different and a much more efficient way. And that is the medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs, which are most famously found in coconut oil. This is a fascinating piece of biochemistry, and it is what I like to call the purity swap. Most of the fats that we eat, including the long-chain saturated fats that are found in butter and in lard, are very large molecules. They have to go through a very complex and a very slow digestive process before they can finally be used by the body for energy. But the MCTs that are found in coconut oil are very different. They are much, much smaller molecules. And because of their small size, they are able to bypass this normal complex fat digestion process. They are absorbed directly from your gut, and they go straight to your liver. And in the liver, they are immediately and very rapidly converted into a wonderful source of clean, fast-burning fuel for both your brain and for your body. This amazing fuel is called ketones. So unlike the heavy long-chain saturated fats that can contribute to high cholesterol in some people, the MCTs from coconut oil are used almost instantly by your body as a pure and a very clean source of energy. It is a much cleaner and a much more efficient fuel for an older person's body. It is a wonderful and a blessed example of how nature provides us with so many different and intelligent options for our nourishment. This is such powerful and specific information, Doctor. We love sharing it with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So our second smart swap is the purity swap, trading those heavy, long-chain, saturated fats that can be difficult for the body to process for the pure, clean, and fast-burning energy of MCTs. That is a great strategy for our brain health. Doctor, what is the third and final dangerous fat situation that our viewers need to be aware of? You said that this one is not necessarily about a bad fat, but it is all about an imbalance.
Yes, our final problem is perhaps the most common and the most insidious of all in the modern American diet. It is the problem of having too many omega-6 fatty acids in our diet without having enough of the anti-inflammatory omega-3s to balance them. This is the great imbalance of the modern food supply. This imbalance is found in most of the common, inexpensive vegetable oils that you find in the large plastic jugs at the supermarket, like corn oil, soybean oil, and sunflower oil. I had a patient, a very kind woman. She was doing all of her home cooking with a large jug of a generic vegetable oil because she thought that it was a healthier choice than butter. But she was suffering from terrible chronic joint pain and a constant feeling of brain fog that she could not shake. She was unknowingly feeding her body a constant stream of pro-inflammatory fats with every single meal.
That is such a common and a very unfortunate situation. Let's explain the deep science of this critical balance, because it is the key to understanding chronic inflammation. Your body uses both omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids to be able to create important signaling molecules. You can think of the molecules that are made from the omega-6 fats as being generally pro-inflammatory. They are like the accelerator pedal for your immune system. They tell the body to create inflammation to respond to a threat. And you can think of the molecules that are made from the omega-3 fats as being anti-inflammatory. They are the brake pedal for your immune system. They tell the body to calm down. In a healthy traditional diet, the ratio of these two fats was about 4-to-1 or even less. But in the modern American diet, with all of our processed foods and all of our cheap vegetable oils, that ratio is now estimated to be closer to 20-to-1. We have way too much accelerator and not nearly enough brake. And this is a primary driver of the chronic low-grade inflammation that is at the root of so many age-related diseases, from arthritis and joint pain to heart disease, and even the risk of a stroke.
So, it is a system that is completely out of balance. So, doctor, what is the healing swap? How do we bring our bodies back into a healthy and an anti-inflammatory balance?
The smart and the healing swap is, of course, to remove those industrial omega-6 seed oils from your kitchen, and you must begin to dramatically increase your intake of the anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. The best sources of these are the fatty fish like wild salmon and sardines, and the wonderful plant sources like flax seeds and chia seeds. This is the balance swap. The DHA and the EPA that are found in the fatty fish are the most powerful anti-inflammatory fats that we have. They help to make your blood platelets less sticky, which helps to reduce your risk of forming a dangerous blood clot that could lead to a stroke. And very importantly for our topic today, DHA is a primary structural component of your brain. Your brain is literally built out of this very special and essential fat. And to add one final important fat to our discussion today as the source text, so wisely notes we also have the phospholipids, which are most famously found in healthy egg yolks. These are another essential type of fat that is a critical building block for all of your brain cell membranes. You can think of them as the special insulation that helps your brain cells to be able to communicate with each other quickly and effectively. It is a wonderful example of how we can honor the blessed complexity of our bodies by providing them with a full and a balanced spectrum of these essential and healing fats. Doctor, this has been an incredible and a very clear guide. You have given us 3 smart fat swaps that can help all of us to finally end the confusion about dietary fats and to help lower our stroke risk. We have learned to swap the dangerous man-made trans fats for the beautiful natural monounsaturated fats. We have learned to swap the excess heavy saturated fats for the clean burning energy of MCTs. And we have learned to swap the imbalanced omega-6 oils for the powerfully anti-inflammatory omega-3s. This is a truly powerful food-based approach to senior health. By making these simple swaps in their own kitchen, our viewers can help to reduce the inflammation and the plaque buildup that can lead to a high stroke risk. This knowledge is a true cornerstone of a proactive senior health strategy, one that is so often misunderstood. It is a practical daily way to invest in your long-term brain health and to actively lower your stroke risk.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. You must not fear fat. You must fear the wrong fat. Your brain is made of fat. I encourage you to give it the clean, beautiful, and healing fats that are found in nature, and it will serve you well for all of your years to come.
That is a beautiful message, Doctor. To give our brain the healing fats from nature, it's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health by being mindful and informed about the blessed foods we use to build and to fuel our bodies. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have any existing health conditions like high cholesterol or heart disease. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and it helped to clear up the confusion about healthy fats, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information, and be sure to share it with a friend or a family member who you want to help protect their brain health. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know what is the one smart fat swap that you are going to make in your own kitchen this week. Please share your first step in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.